Okay, we have Coach Hoiberg here. I'll start with Chris Bassett.
Hey, Fred, kind of a, I guess, house cleaning question, but do you guys know any different, like, extra protocols or anything going up to Indianapolis, or how's that kind of working for you guys as far as like testing and getting up there and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, everybody that is testing right now did a saliva test this morning, which is, from what I understand, the same as a PCR test. And we continued with our daily antigen testing as well. My understanding is once we arrive, we'll test again and then just continue with the daily testing.
Sam McEwen.
Hey, Fred. Resilience is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but I feel like it applies in the case of your team and just college sports in general this year. I wanted to ask this on the front end before the tournament begins, but just can you reflect for a little bit about the resilience of your staff and yourself and your players in the face of a difficult year, and maybe also the optimism that may lie ahead because of science that can maybe get this sport back to where everybody wants it to be and a little bit more normal?
Yeah, it's been as crazy a year as I've ever been a part of in any sport in any year, honestly, with the pandemic, with coming on the 1 year anniversary of the shutdown, which I was a big part of in that first Big Ten tournament game in Indianapolis. And it's just kind of been a crazy year ever since with what this virus has done to people, to families, and what it continues to do. And, thankfully there's a vaccine in place, and hopefully everybody gets it and we can return to some normalcy next year as far as getting fans back in the building, as far as sports are concerned, fans back in the stadiums, and, get back to where we were before the pandemic hit. For our team in particular, I said this all along, I couldn't be more proud of everything they've been all about when we got hit with this thing as hard as any team in the country, and had to shut down for as long as we did and continue to compete through tremendous adversity all the way through yesterday, where again we got ourselves down, or starts obviously have been an issue for us, but we found a way, as you said, Sam, being resilient with our group and finding a way to get back into it and compete, take leads. If we find a way to win that Illinois game, which we lost in overtime, which we had some really tough things go against us, and we win yesterday, we're 5-5 in our last 10. And, unfortunately we didn't, but, we're playing, pretty good basketball right now in this league. To be able to do that after everything we've been through, I think says a lot about the character of our group. We just got to find a way now to play our best basketball of the year in another very difficult setting in a football stadium, which is going to be, I remember the first shot I ever took in a dome. It was at the Unidome when I was a freshman playing Northern Iowa, and I missed the basket by about 10 feet. It's a completely different background vibe. Shooting the ball, we're going to get a half an hour shoot-around time on the day of the game to prepare, and it's going to have to be all shooting, just to try to get used to that background. But I've said this all along, Sam, the resiliency of our group and the character that they've shown and the fight that they've continued to have has been awesome. I'll always look back on this group as one that was a joy to coach, and hopefully, we can play our best basketball and see where it goes.
Thank you.
Rob Washut.
Given that you guys have played Penn State twice already and you seem to match up pretty well with them, how much of the next couple days here are just about getting this team mentally ready for the challenge that awaits, potentially playing 5 games in 5 days and all these unique circumstances? Just, I guess, how do you balance the X's and O's part with just getting these guys ready to go out and do one more run?
Yeah, as we put in the game plan just a little bit ago in practice, you start talking about the coverages, and then the guys are like, "Oh yeah, I remember that, and I remember this guy," and you watch the personnel on who they are and what they're about, and you just have to go out and play the principles. We didn't guard them very well in our last game after guarding them, maybe as well as any team that we played all year in the last 10 minutes of the win. That was our first win at Penn State. It's a tough team, and we actually had very similar games. We both kind of dug ourselves a hole yesterday, came back from 15, 16-point deficits, took leads. The difference is they held on. They found a way to win theirs, and unfortunately we couldn't make the necessary plays down the stretch in ours. But it's Jim Ferry has done a phenomenal job in a very difficult year. They had a week shutdown as well with their team. With what happened with Jim taking over early this season, the way he has gotten that team to respond has been unbelievable. So I think Jim Ferry's done a terrific job with this group. They shoot the ball very well. Harar obviously has killed us on the glass. He's got 14 offensive rebounds in 2 games. And, we have to do a better job closing to shooters, getting back in transition, and find a way to compete on the glass. If we do that, we'll have a chance.
I feel like you'll be able to bit over the last couple of days. You get to wipe this slate clean, or is it the same, given it's the same kind of pattern with only a day or two out?
I'm sorry, I say that again. I missed the first part of that.
Do you feel like you get to refresh a little bit, given that you get to wipe the slate clean, kind of new season type of thing, or is it kind of the same since it's in the pattern of what you guys have been playing so many games?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly talked about it. Everybody right now is 0-0 heading into the most fun time of the year, and everything you work for and work towards is the postseason. And I can't wait to get this program to where going into the tournament we're already in and we're looking to improve our seed. That's what this time of year is all about. But the amount of time and work and effort you put into the season is all designed for this time of year. Obviously with the win-loss record not where we want it, having a tough year from that perspective, it's not where we want to be. But I'm confident about our group moving forward. I'm excited about our future. To where this is something we can compete and win. I was a part of 2 of them at Iowa State, where we went down to Kansas City and won the Big 12 tournament. It's such an amazing experience for your team and your fans, and an experience you'll never forget with your family and your players. So, it's a fun time of year, and I can't wait till we're in this NCAA tournament year in and year out, competing for Big Ten championships and giving ourselves a chance in the NCAAs.
Nick Bertecki.
Hey, Coach. Derek Walker had said, no matter who you guys have on the floor, no matter who you're playing, he thinks you guys have a chance to win in this tournament no matter what. And I'm just curious, what does that say about where the program was last year to where it is this year in the first game of the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we've made huge strides, I think, in our program. Again, it doesn't show in the win-loss record, but you look at what we have done here in this latest stretch after coming back from a huge shutdown and the way we're going out and competing. It says a lot, I think, about where we are and how we've taken steps in the right direction. And Derek's right. We have shown that we can compete against anybody in this league. It was a 2-possession game against Michigan a long time ago, but we were right there at the end. Purdue, we had a lead with about 10 minutes to go in that game. You look at Illinois, you take a team that's probably going to be a 1 seed into overtime, and had the couple plays gone our way down the stretch, we win that game. So he's right. We can and have shown that we can compete against anybody. The other thing that shows is the depth of this league. It's never been better top to bottom. And, we just need to go out there and take it one game at a time. That's all you can do, take it one day at a time. First, obviously, focusing on a very good, physical, strong Penn State team.
Sam McKeown.
Hey, Fred, you guys have topped hitting 10 3-pointers or more 4 times in the last 8 games. Something's going right with the shooting. Like, it's getting better and the percentages are going up. What do you think you guys have developed in some of them, or what have they worked on themselves to get them to a position where they're just making more shots?
Yeah, I think a big part of it, Sam, is we're making simple plays. We're making the right reads. I think Trey has slowed down a little bit, and he's done a good job getting our guys shots. Thor has been phenomenal in getting our guys shots. And you're right, the shooting percentages have gone up, and a big part of that, is I've said all year long, is confidence. When you can take that lid off that basket and see the ball go through the hoop. You look at Kobe, I think he's shooting 42% since the beginning of the year. Lats percentages, Trey's been shooting the ball well all year. Thor shot the ball better. Trevor's knocked down a couple in the last few games. So just to be able to go out there and play with that kind of confidence, it makes a world of difference, as opposed to when that thing's not going through And it's hard to play. It is hard to play. Believe me, I know this as much as anybody. It's hard to play this game when you don't have confidence. So, to be able to knock down a few and get on a little bit of a roll and a little bit of a rhythm has done wonders for our shooting numbers. Now we got to get back to guarding again. If we can combine the two of them, we'll really have a chance.
Thank you.
Not seeing any questions in the queue. This will end our press conference. We will have our next availability post game on Wednesday. Thank you, everybody.